Um, Hi, economy friends. Welcome to our channel. Today we have a long-form podcast-like conversation with Zano's Head of Marketing and Growth, Quentin Van Welzen. Hey, Quentin, thank you for joining us today. How did you get involved in crypto and privacy tech for a start?
Hey everyone. Yes, thank you, Breno, for having me on the Bioeconomy podcast. I got first involved in crypto in, when was it, 2017? And actually, within a couple of months' time, I already, privacy catch my attention, privacy coins in particular. So, yeah, but that was just as a hobby and I was a bit of a newbie then. Later on, a couple of years later, I became more involved. I had my own Twitter and wrote some articles for privacy projects. And then later on, started my own group, Pursuit of Privacy, which is a community that still exists today, where people talk about all kinds of privacy technologies, but also about the coins and, pretty much anything related to crypto and privacy. And then in 2022, I got involved with Zano as a team member. From 2020 as an investor, I was already, as a community member, I was already involved. And today I'm the head of marketing and growth at Zano project.
Fantastic. And I was curious, so Zano, when in this journey from 2017 to 2020, did you find out about Zano?
I think it was 2019. Zano had the Zano team used to have a different project before. In 2020, the team goes way back. It was named Bullberry, and then that project became Zano with a new mainnet in 2019. Actually, from the start of the Zano project, it came on my radar and I was involved.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Zano. I took this description from your official website, zano.org, and it says Zano is an open source cryptocurrency and ecosystem with enterprise-grade privacy, security, and scalability that operates as a robust foundation for confidential assets and decentralized applications. How would you describe Zano to somebody that is hearing about it for the first time?
I would say Zano is the privacy-powered digital economy, and how I would describe it to someone that is, completely new to crypto is that many people make the assumption that cryptocurrencies are private by default. They think Bitcoin is magic private internet money, for example. But, you and me, we know the truth, and probably the people watching this show, they also know the truth, that it's actually a transparent ledger and you can see the balances, the transaction history, and you can, even with nowadays with AI, you can backtrack it and map it out completely, which is a huge security risk for the end user. So I'd start explaining that, and then I'd say that Zano, on the contrary, is actually completely private by default. So you don't see addresses, you don't see amounts transacted, you don't see the asset type transacted even. Your privacy is completely kept intact, and that gives you, that makes the Zano blockchain censorship resistant, and it puts your data back in your hands as the user.
So to put it in another way, most blockchains, as we know, including Bitcoin, they prize anonymity. So you have a wallet address, you have the public address, anybody can check on blockchain. But if throughout time there's anything that connects a name or a person to that address, it's not private anymore, right? And in Zano's case, there's no address that is public. The transactions are not public, so there's no way to connect everything that relates to those transactions and wallet addresses to a person or an institution, for example, right?
Yeah, this concept you're talking about is named pseudonymity, right? So as long as some Bitcoiners, for example, they argue that as long as you don't link your pseudonymous Bitcoin wallet to any KYC service, that you're good. And they claim that they know what they're doing very well, but AI is getting better and better, and so do the chain analysis tools, and it only takes one misstep to somehow connect your real identity to your Bitcoin wallet or any other transparent crypto wallet, and from there on they can backtrack everything. So even everything you did in the past, basically. So that's, in my opinion, very dangerous. Whereas with Zano, if you choose to use a KYC service like an centralized exchange, for example, of course they see that you buy the Zano. But then when you withdraw them to your Zano wallet, from there the trace stops, because you can't see the transactions, like the flows of the transactions on Zano. So then you're still private from there. Although I always recommend everyone to trade peer-to-peer to avoid KYC as well, because I think KYC is a very dangerous thing. We've seen it with a lot of leaks from exchanges where the data leaks and people become targets and their financial data, is available on the streets for everyone to see. So yeah, I would advise against using KYC services as well.
Okay, that's an interesting advice. I would go a little deeper on that. I would like to hear you talk about privacy in general and the meaning of privacy to Zeno, but I think it's a good thing to give examples of. The first thing that comes to my head is in certain countries, how heavy governments can invade personal finance, uh, people's accounts, or even freeze their accounts. We know examples out of that. We see the cases of states at war in the world. What are the use cases and what's the driver from the concept of privacy to Zano and the use cases that you think, okay, our solution is ideal, especially when we see these bad cases on the news?
Yeah, I think that is super relevant today because we see, like right now at this moment, privacy is a very hot topic, right? A lot of people talk about it, and some privacy coins are surging, both in price and attention wise. I think with the rise of CBDCs and digital IDs, and these governments trying to get more and more control over their people, privacy will only become more popular and privacy tools will become more popular. And Zano is an entire ecosystem that protects your financial privacy, your financial data. So it puts the power back in your hands. And let's say we're gonna use a CBDC, like I live in the European Union, for example, and the euro. If there's going to be a digital euro, which they are working on, which they are going to launch, they could freeze your assets. They could put limitations on your assets, like that you, for example, are only like, for example, if you receive what is the English word, like money from the government that is supposed to be for your healthcare, for example, that you can only spend that money on your healthcare and not on anything else. So it's programmable money. They could even tie it to a social credit system potentially. I'm not saying that they would, but they could. And the fact that they can is already very dangerous. We're giving that power to governments. And in the past, when we give, it has learned us that when we give a lot of power to the governments, it usually leads to something bad. So yeah, I'm all for sovereignty, and individuals, should be in control of their own data and their own decisions, because that's what a free world means, right? So yeah,
It makes a lot of sense.
Zano can help a lot with this. If there's going to be CBDCs and stuff like that, and more freedom restrictions, Zano can be the alternative that is censorship resistant, that is decentralized, that you can use completely anonymously for all sorts of things.
Fantastic. It's a tool for freedom to
Yeah.
curb too much power in the hands of a few. That's a great take on it. Um,
And this,
I don't know
by
if,
the way, this
go
this
ahead.
is an extreme example, right? Which I just talked about.
Of
But
course.
also, if the world stays as it is today, we still need privacy and financial privacy. I mean, in the real world here, with with euros and US dollar and all of that, banks protect your financial privacy. I cannot see your bank balance and who you transacted with. So if there's going to be a shift towards cryptocurrencies for payments, for example, if that's supposed to be our new economy, then why would we be fine with suddenly, cryptocurrencies being transparent and having all this data publicly visible for everyone? That's simply a very unsafe system. So also for that reason, privacy is important.
And not to forget that the attention economy pushes a lot of ads according to your purchase behavior, and the more transparent it is, maybe you're going to see more of what you don't want and less of what you're looking for. And of course, traditional financial institutions, that's out of safety, but they limit your transactions. That might limit how much you can move per day or what kind of transaction you can make. And sometimes there's not a safety issue with that. It's just something that it's out of ordinary, but you need it there in that day instead of 2 or 3 or 5 business days. I would like to hear just a little bit for those that are already into privacy coins. How do we compare, or how do we place Zano side by side, or competing with Monero and Zcash?
Yeah. So Zano is more like an entire, like a platform, like an economy, like a digital economy for all sorts of assets, not just for Zano itself, right? So where Monero and Zcash just have one asset, which is ZEC and XMR in both cases. On Zano, you can actually create your own tokens. So you can tokenize anything. We call this technology confidential assets. So people can use this technology to tokenize anything, to create their own stable coins, to create their own RWA assets, or use it for DeFi or utility tokens, you name it. So yeah, this opens up for massive use cases, of course, and all kinds of cool stuff is being built right now on the Zano platform. You have Freedom Dollar, which is the first privacy stablecoin on Zano. You have Confidential Layer, which is a non-custodial bridge that allows you to bridge Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, even DAI, which is a decentralized stablecoin but transparent one, to bridge those assets over to the Zano blockchain to turn them into privacy assets. We have Obscura being built right now, which is a private NFT platform, and so much more is being built. These are just examples of what already exists today. And later this year, still in Q4, we plan to launch the Zano Grants program, which should kickstart the ecosystem growth even more. And hopefully we will see many more exciting privacy assets rise on the Zano blockchain.
Fantastic. Yeah, giving grants is the right way to enable devs to go forward and create interesting use cases in tech. Okay, just a quick comment on, because I'm dying with curiosity, we see everybody debating the scalability, decentralization, and privacy. And whenever we kind of improve one of the other two have to suffer a little bit. So just give us your comments on this, and are there any concerns on Zeno's side? Let's think about extreme privacy, but then what happens to scalability and decentralization?
Yeah, so it's always a trade-off, right? This is the classic blockchain trilemma between decentralization, security, and scalability. It's what they claim, you can never have all three. And it's kind of true. I don't agree with it entirely, but it's mostly true. It's a trade-off that you make. So Zano has privacy and security and decentralization prioritized above scalability, but it doesn't mean that we cannot scale. For example, our transactions per second would be much lower compared to something like Solana that can say, hey, we can process 10,000 transactions per second or something. But the reality is that it's cool that these layer ones can do that, but they're often very centralized. That is the trade-off that you make. So it's not a decentralized system. And also, I wonder, to my knowledge, none of these blockchains actually process such a huge amount of transactions, right? So it's simply not necessary. And we think privacy is non-negotiable, and security as well, and decentralization. They go hand in hand, and we prioritize that first. And so Zano you can say Zano is a privacy first blockchain. Right now, Zano isn't being used an awful lot, at least not compared to it's growing really fast. And, a lot of people are adopting the ecosystem, but it's not as big, not nearly as big as the big layer ones out there. But that doesn't mean we can't scale. Like later on, we can look into sharding, for example, or other scaling solutions. I believe we're not even at 5% of our capacity right now, of what we can currently do. And we can increase that capacity if, the usage of our blockchain grows. So I don't see that as an issue.
Interesting. Okay, so perfect. So let's think about the growth that you're experiencing right now. It's good to know that if you need to grow fast, there's room for that. Who is using Zano today? Individuals, businesses, specific industries? Who are you seeing? Who are the communities that are coming to you?
Yeah, so compared to just a year ago, we have seen such a tremendous amount of growth, and it's amazing to see where, if you would ask me these questions a year ago, I could just say, yes, we're working on this, we're working on that, and hopefully soon we will have this soon. But now we actually have all these things, like, there are confidential assets with utility on Zano, and they are being used. So it's really, really cool. So yeah, there are projects launching on Zano, like I said, Freedom Dollar, for example, and this is really growing really fast as well. People are using Freedom Dollar for payroll, to pay salaries, for payments. There's a lot of payment processors integrating the Zano blockchain right now, and therefore they can also soon accept this privacy stablecoin, Freedom Dollar. We work with DFX, which is a project based in Switzerland, and they have their own decentralized euro, the D euro, and we're planning to bring that to Zano as well, so you can do borrowing and lending with the D euro. But then the D euro will be a confidential asset, so completely private on Zano as well. There's Zebek card, which we integrated with recently, which allows you to top up it's a MasterCard, and you can top it up with Zano or Freedom Dollar and then spend it anywhere MasterCard is accepted. So practically in any shop, you can shop online with it. You can shop in go to restaurants with it, you name it, buy clothes. So yeah, it is being used. Not as much as I want it to be used, but we're getting there, and it's growing really fast. So yeah, I'm really, really glad with the progress.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, having a card that people can use gives an out ramp gives a lot of trust into the system. Like you can get positions in there, you can experiment with all these dApps and solution coming up. But at the end of the day, if you just need to liquidity or just need to use your assets, they're there. You can have a card and go to any store. That's the right way of. I think that's the first step that every project should think of.
Sorry to interrupt. The holy grail would be, for shops and e-commerce to accept cryptocurrencies directly, right? Via point
Yeah, to have their
point
own
of sale
wallets and
systems.
just
But we know that the adoption isn't there yet for crypto. It's hard to
there's
use
a learning
cryptocurrency
curve.
in today's world. So this is a nice intermediary solution until we have a solid point of sale system.
Very true. Very true. Let's shift a little bit the gears here. What's bugging you? What are the hard topics? What are the barriers to adoption? Is it regulation? Is it market liquidity? Is it awareness?
I think all those things that you just named go hand in hand, right? If you are not listed on any major exchanges, you lack awareness, you lack liquidity. So that is very frustrating for me personally. I can at least say that because I try to get Zano adopted as much as possible in the Zano ecosystem. But especially with centralized exchanges, it looks like we run into a big wall lately because we are listed on plenty of exchanges. And I can also say something positive about that because luckily there are still plenty of exchanges like Bioconomy and all these others that are open to listing privacy coins and they understand the importance of it. But sadly, many of the tier one exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, what others can we name? Bybit, they are not so open to listing privacy coins. In fact, they delisted all their privacy coins and they don't plan to relist any of them anytime soon. And these platforms, whether we like it or not, they have most of the users. So if you're not there, it lack the exposure there big time. And, on the positive side, Zano still grows really fast. You can see it, in the numbers, in the data, in the price action also. So it's not impossible to grow without them. So it's fine. But this is something that still bothers me, that regulators pressure exchanges so much and that they give into it and delist these assets, where actually privacy coins is where all the action happens, the innovation in cryptocurrency, how crypto was meant to be, the cyberpunk ethos. When Bitcoin was first launched, you can see privacy has its own section in the Bitcoin white paper where Satoshi himself even talks about how privacy should be, adopted to like coming to Bitcoin whenever it's possible. He just didn't know how to do it at that time yet. But sadly, Bitcoin completely moved away from that aspect as well. And so did most of crypto. So that bothers me. And nowadays, privacy is a bit of a niche, right? Monero and Zcash and Zano, and they're not exactly the largest altcoins anymore. They are alive and kicking, and that's where all the action happens. Once again, also all the cool stuff that is being developed, like full chain membership proofs and all these cool innovations, that is still alive and kicking. It's just not that it gets the attention that it deserves, in my opinion.
True, true. And it's probably, like you said, a consequence of high regulation in certain areas of the world, and that very, very large institutions need to comply with them. But many other institutions, us included, we are figuring out ways of accessing all markets and stay present in all markets, even if it's under a non-KYC account. And maybe this is just a stepping stone that high regulation will take care for a while, But as people get more aware of how these solutions work, and then we live in a world that's going to be really fast with AI being connecting everything and moving a lot of data and information fast through any borders, probably more privacy solutions will be needed everywhere. So it's good for people to catch up with that and start at least experiencing, experimenting to know how to use it if the need comes.
Very true. And it also holds the adoption back, right? So not only for individuals, but also for businesses. Think about it. What business wants to use a transparent ledger? Like what business is gonna be completely open about all their salaries and their money flows? Like who's gonna use that? Nobody. Also not the businesses. So if crypto wants the adoption that it deserves and that it needs, then it needs privacy.
I was about to ask you that. Which kind of business do you foresee, let's say in the short term, or at least the next wave of institutional adoption for Zano? Which kind of business do you think? We see a lot of stablecoin discussion and banks getting into, payment institutions getting into. We see countries talking about Bitcoin reserve. What would be logical, or what's an interesting use case for Zano my question is, what type of business should be looking at Zano instead of any other?
Hard question. It's not exactly my area of expertise. I stay a bit of in the crypto bubble myself, to be honest. But I think something that is very interesting to me is payroll. So most of the salaries in the crypto industry are being paid via USDC or USDT, Tether and Circle. These two assets are by far most used cryptocurrencies today, right? More used than Bitcoin, more used than anything else. But they are simply CBDCs, right? They're not much better than CBDCs. They can be frozen. USDT can be frozen at any time. They can blacklist your wallet address, freeze your USDT, freeze your assets. So it's just, if you've done something that they don't like, they can do that, and it's not much better than a CBDC. It's just programmable money. They can freeze it. And also, they are not exactly honest about their reserves. It's similar to the banking system with the fractional reserves. Who knows how much they have to actually back the numbers that they claim to have. Whereas with something like Freedom Dollar, this particular asset actually proves their reserves via auditable wallets, so they are over collateralized. It's backed fully in Zano coins, over collateralized. It's censorship resistant. Wallets can't be frozen. Assets can't be frozen. Not by them, not by us, not by anyone. It's just technically impossible, and therefore it's also and it's private. That is the most important thing about this, is that it's completely private by default. So I think for anyone doing payroll and doing salaries, adopting Freedom Dollar makes total sense, because you keep your business safe and you keep your employees safe.
Makes total sense. Now let's talk a little bit about you and your role in Zano. What are your main tasks? What are you doing most of the time? What's your main interest with, no, it's marketing and growth. But what have you been doing? And then right afterwards, I want to hear more of what you're doing next.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I got involved a couple of years ago, and Zano was still very small back then, at least in terms of market cap and attention that it got, like community size. And it has grown a lot. It has grown significantly over the times. Not until so long ago, it was just freestyling a little bit, keeping the community members happy, talking with all of our partners, creating smaller, small marketing campaigns. So it was, a bit of business development, a bit of marketing, a bit of community management. But now, luckily, I have a lot of colleagues, and we have Gonzalo, who's our community manager now. So he took that role. I have someone in front of me here behind the camera. He's on another desk working. He's the social media manager for Zano now, so he controls the social media part. So now I can focus a bit more on the bigger picture and more on business development. So we get a lot more integrations now. I have more time to keep our relationships with all these infrastructure, keep that warm, and find new ones that are interested to work with Zano. So that's where most of my attention lies currently. And also, we're trying to bring more structure within the team. So, trying to document everything that until now has been in my head mostly, and trying to put it all in sheets and Word documents and all of that, and making a big database of everything, and making sure that we have proper workflows for all kinds of things. So I'm working on some bigger marketing campaigns that will be launched soon. Also working on a new content creator program for Zano, so that it's easy for us to onboard content creators, no matter big or small, and reward them in Zano for it. We need a scalable system for that. So that's something I'm working on. I'm working on a new website for Zano that is much more clear and with a clear division between developers and users. So yeah, still working left and right on all kinds of cool things, but at least I have more help now, and the amount of work is divided amongst more people nowadays, which I'm really happy with.
Surely you're doing a lot, and kudos to you and congratulations on the growth. It's obviously a result of a good work. Okay, because one of the things you said, you're talking about partnerships and connecting with content creators. So just let's take the advantage of this minute, and who are the people that it would be good for you for them to reach out directly to you?
Well, I'm still working on this content creator program, so it's not live yet. So at the moment, there's no structure for this. But hopefully in a month from here or so, it's live. Like I said, it's meant for everyone. So it's meant for community members. It's meant for big influencers. So it doesn't really matter what type of content you create, as long as you feel passionate about Zano or about privacy and you enjoy making content. You could apply to this Zano content creator program and get rewarded in Zano coins for it. How the details will look like exactly, I'm not certain yet. I'm just certain that it will be for everyone, and that it is supposed to be a scalable solution for us that is good for years to come. So yeah, that.
Fantastic. Yeah, the details are TBD, but it's coming, so it's time
Yeah.
to get in and to reach out. All right. What's happening next, let's say, over the next 6 months? Any conferences besides these programs that you're organizing? But what's next for Zeno that will catch the eye of the public?
Yeah, let's start with the conferences. We go to Bitcoin Mina in Abu Dhabi, which is in December. We share a booth there with the Bitcoin.com team, which is like a reliable partner of us. They are very, I can say, maybe fans of Zano or users of Zano. They like it a lot. So especially the private Bitcoin BTCX, as we call it. You can bridge Bitcoin nowadays to Zano and upgrade it to become a privacy asset. We're gonna show that at this Bitcoin event there, where there are a lot of Bitcoin maxis. Then early next year, we go to Monerotopia, which is more of a privacy-focused event. We go there for many years already. A lot of the privacy community comes together there, and it's always a lot of fun with interesting panels and speeches and workshops and on all of that. So that's going to be the next privacy event for us. Gonzalo, our community manager, is looking at an event in Argentina. A very big one. I forgot the name, but I believe it's in November already. So he plans to go there.
DEFCON?
I don't know. I can't say. So yeah, so that's on the conferences front, but there are, the action happens for us in the tech front. So like I said, the Zano Grants program is going to launch at the still in Q4, so before the end of the year. And we have on-chain voting coming very soon, actually in the next couple of weeks. So we can actually have our stakers vote on important matters anonymously, because we are the first and still only blockchain in the entire world, I can say, that has private proof of stake. So we have invented, so we're still hybrid proof of work, proof of stake. We still have a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake consensus algorithm, but our proof of stake component works with hidden amounts. So what you stake and all of that is completely hidden for anyone. And the stakers will then be able to vote on important matters. So we put more power in the hands of our stakers, of our contributors to the network. So that's very exciting. We have a new light wallet coming up, which makes it a lot easier for people that are not so tech savvy to also, just run a Zano wallet and participate. There are upgrades coming to the Zano mobile wallet, to Zano Trade, which is our own DEX. It's being improved. What else? There's so much going on.
It's a lot.
Our lead developer is working on a new consensus upgrade, which should make Zano more scalable, more secure, also faster. So that's coming. We're looking into full chain membership proofs, which is being researched by the Monero dev team, but we want to adopt it to the Zano ecosystem as well. So we're following that closely. And then, of course, Obscura is being developed by another team. Freedom Dollar is working hard and has multiple campaigns planned. And Confidential Layer is going to list on the first exchange very soon, I believe within the next 4 weeks. They're gonna tie a big social fire campaign round 2 to it, so you can actually participate in that and earn some rewards for it. So there's all kinds of activity going on in the Zano ecosystem. Plenty of stuff. Yeah.
That's great. And these are all good examples. I was planning to ask you this, but I think we can just extend that. You just listed a very comprehensive way of using privacy coins. And none of them are touching dark web or bad use or things that feel like it's always hidden in the corners of the world. So the question that I have here is, what are the misconceptions about privacy coins that are good to clear up? And I think that this is the case. Like there are tons of use cases. They are natural. They're part of everybody's day to day and not necessarily involve something that is scary and, out of the books, out of a true crime documentary.
Yes, very good question. Spot on. This is precisely what Zano tries to fight. This bad image of privacy coins supposed to be for criminals and you have something to hide, blah, blah, blah. That's exactly what they want you to believe so that, it doesn't get adopted. But it's not true at all. I mean, privacy is simply needed, it's simply necessary for you to be safe, right? To protect you against range attacks and all these other type of malicious activity. So privacy is for the people, privacy is for everyone. And if you want to be in control of your own data and you want to be self-sovereign, then privacy is for you. So I would say privacy is for everybody.
Perfect. Where can our Biconomy community, where can they find more about Zano? And I remember you mentioned a few URLs in the past. I'll get all of them with you and list on the description of this video. But what can we give as a direction for those that are watching us right now?
Yeah, we have a website, zano.org, but even better, we have intro.zano.org, which is specifically crafted for people that are entirely new to Zano. So it starts with a small 3-minute explainer video about Zano, and then all the links to our communities and an introduction guide, and you can make it as crazy as you want. You can spend as many hours researching Zano as you like. So I'd say start there, go there, and if you have questions, join our communities. Send me a DM, also fine. I'd be happy to help and onboard new users to the Zano ecosystem.
And I imagine the devs that want to join and contribute, they can also find docs and guidance in the Zano.org, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Our documentation is being improved by a lot. It has improved a lot already lately. So a lot of information is visible there. And hopefully in a couple months' time, we also have this brand new website live, which should be way easier to navigate with a Zano AI bot that is plugged into the website, the documentation, the research papers, the white papers. So that's very easy to find the information that you need, no matter if you're a developer or just an ordinary user or someone completely new to it. It will be suitable for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be easy. All right. Okay. What's the main takeaway for today that you want our users to keep with them after watching to this conversation?
Yeah, I think I already made the point. Think about the question: if crypto is ever going to be adopted by the bigger world, like by everyone, by the masses, then what would they use? Would they use a blockchain that is transparent or a blockchain that is private? I think I made my case for the answer. So think about this and do your own research and choose wisely.
Very good. Very good. Hey, Quentin, thank you so much for the time today. This very pleasant conversation. Thank you. Thank everybody that's watching us. Any final words for the day?
No, I hope everyone has a great day. And Breno, thank you. You've been a great host. I loved your questions. So thank you for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure.
This is wonderful. This is going to be everywhere on Biconomy.com channels. And you will see more about Zano. Go to Biconomy.com and you find Zano on our trading books. Thanks again. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.